Hey everyone! Today we learned about Brazil, and in Brazil there are many different kinds of animals and plants. Today we're going to be making an origami frog. It could be an origami tree frog, a regular frog from anywhere around the world. In my class today we learned all about Brazil, and so we are learning about how to make a frog. So first thing you're going to need is any kind of paper. It can be a rectangle paper, or you can start with origami paper, square paper, whatever you have. I have a light green construction paper, very cheap piece of paper. It's a rectangle all ready to start. So I am going to need some scissors, but only for one thing. So let's first off make this into a square. You're going to take your left top corner and you're going to meet it at this line, and you're going to make a bit of a triangle first. Okay, just try to make them nice and straight, the best that you can, and make that nice crease. Origami is always really important to have good creases in your paper so that you know where your folds are. So you have this triangle piece here, but you have this rectangle that we actually don't want. You're going to take this and cut this off. Okay. Try to follow your line as best you can. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. Okay, and you're going to discard that. You don't want that. You no longer need your scissors. We're not going to use any more scissors. Excuse me. So now we have this triangle piece. You're going to open that up, and now you have a square. So that's origami is usually started by a square piece of paper. So if you're starting from here, make sure you do have that crease for your triangle. Now you're going to open it up. Take your other corner and meet it at the other diagonal end. So now you're folding around to make another triangle. And make that crease best as you can, as straight as you can. Now you have another nice triangle, big triangle, open it up, you have an X. Okay? So here's the part where some students got confused. So you're going to actually fold this in half. It doesn't matter what direction, just fold it in half, making a rectangle here. Make those nice creases. Okay, so now you have an X and a middle line. We're going to be using this middle line a different way. So right now all the folds point inward. I'm going to turn it so the folds point outward. And this is where it's going to help you a little bit to plan in advance. You're going to actually fold over in half again to make the crease go the other way. Okay, so one more time, we're here. The folds are in. I'm going to turn it over and fold it on that same line again to make the creases go the opposite way. It'll make it easier for me in the moment. Okay, now I have them back to normal here. So I have two small triangles on each side, and I have two larger triangles on the up and top and bottom, excuse me. And now we're going to use these middle tiny little triangle pieces here. So the way I showed students is point your finger in the middle. We're actually going to fold it in, and you can do that at the same time on both sides. Okay, so we're going to take this, and it's going to come down to the middle. So you have this floppy piece up top. Okay. So one more time, you have X, folded pieces in half. They're able to be folded in because you folded them the opposite direction. So now we can do this and bring down towards the middle where my thumb is, right here. There. And now you're going to keep that hand there and fold that down. And guess what? You have a new triangle. So now it's kind of like this floppy mouth. Okay, so our goal is to make a frog, right? So we're not quite there yet. We have a new triangle. Okay, so here we go. I'm scrolling up on my own instructions. Okay, so now we're going to take one of those flaps, not both, just one, and we're going to make this imaginary line right here. We're going to make that meet at the corner. So make that corner meet at the middle top corner here. And we're going to fold that down. Nice creases. Okay, make sure it meets up straight. Okay, so now you have a little flap. Now we're going to take it and do the opposite side. Do the same thing. I'm going to take that corner, meet at the top. And it doesn't want to overlap. Don't overlap, but you're going to meet them together and make that crease. And now you have the two flaps opened up like this. Okay, so keep those down. Now you're going to take this new corner here and you're going to fold it and make a straight line. You're not going to meet it at the top, you're going to meet it towards the middle. Okay, so we're going to take this. Sometimes you have to bend it in advance to get it where you want to go. You're going to take that, make a 90-degree triangle. So it has a straight line here. So close up, you can see there's a straight line. And we're going to take it and do the opposite side the same way. Okay, that new pointy end. And make that meet. And again, don't overlap. You're going to just meet it together. Here we go. Now we have a diamond shape or a kite shape. So you have the mini flaps here. Okay. Now we're going to leave those there. Keep that hand pressed there. Let me scroll up on my instructions. We're actually going to flip this over. So keep the flaps folded as they are, and you're going to do a 180. So you're going to hold this down and push it down onto your flat surface in front of you. Okay, so one more time, you have this folded. Whoops. Keep those together and fold it and press it down. So we're going to work on this side now. Okay, so here's where Froggy starts to get his legs. Okay, so we made the body. Now, we're going to take this and that imaginary line, that middle line right there, where it has the middle part, we're going to take this and make a new straight line. So here's how we're going to go. Take this corner, and we're going to make that, you see that nice straight line that comes? Right there. Try to get it as close as you can to your other lines. You can probably feel them with your finger under the paper, excuse me here. Okay, and make that nice crease. It's okay if you see that other piece. You want it. That's part of the froggy's head. Okay, so now we have this fun new triangle. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So take that corner, and I like to keep my hand down while I'm pressing because I don't want to lose my folds and be all silly. So I'm going to keep those firm folds right there and guide my other hand. Okay, so we're going to take that and guide it to make a straight line. Here we go. Now Froggy has almost a little cape. Okay, keep your hands there. Don't lose those straight lines. Okay. Now we're going to fold it back a little bit. We're going to meet this line right here. We're going to meet this line right here. So this flap right here is going to fold in half. We're going to meet here. And it doesn't go over too much. Try to meet it at the same line. And we're going to make that nice crease. Okay, now on the opposite side, same thing. We're going to meet this line to this line here. Okay, keep those nice straight lines. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we have like an arrow looking shape here. Let me scroll up. Okay, keep your hand. We're going to keep those firm straight lines and flip it over. Here we go. Ready? Keep those hands there, flipping it over. And look, we can see a little bit of Froggy's legs. This is his body, his head, where his eyes would go, or her, whatever you want to put it. So now we're going to make Froggy jump. This is the hardest part because when you see the end product, you see he does, or she does, jump. But how do they do that? Right now it's just a folded piece of paper. Okay, so you're going to actually do a fold back and forth to make these lines. So you're going to need to do it however you have folded it. That's where you're going to need to do it. So here's an example. I went about 1, maybe 2 fingers up from Froggy's bottom, right here. Not the legs, but the bottom. So 1 or 2 fingers up, I'm going to make a little fold right here. I'm going to fold him in half. All the way down. I'm going to press really nice and hard. Get those folds down. Keep it as folded as you can, and now you're just going to move Froggy's head up. So you're going to fold it kind of like how you would fold it a fan. If you're folding those fans back and forth, it's back and forth. So you're going to push him up. Maybe try to leave his head at the same line that you made that other fold. You might need to adjust it. It's up to you. I'm making my other folds. And I'm going to press it as hard as I can. Press, press, press. All my fold lines. And now we have little Froggy. Okay, so let me give you an example of how he can jump, okay? So I can push my fingers on both parts of his head here, both parts of his body, and it goes boop. And it does come apart eventually, so you just try to keep those fold lines. Boop. And you can have fun putting him in a little race, make multiple frogs, and you can see him jump around and how high or how fast or how far they can go. If you're having trouble with not getting Froggy to jump, make sure that your folds, when you started right here, try to adjust how far you want to fold him in half, how far back you want to fold. Maybe you need to adjust those folds. And then I don't press him in the middle to get him to go. I actually press him here. So we have a little flick. So we're gonna flick it like that. And there you go, that's your Froggy. You can also decorate them. We had this in class. So I put little eyes or spots, added a tongue if you want. You can put decorations and watch them go. All right, I hope you enjoyed our origami frog. Of course, all over the world, but we had a lesson on Brazil today. So enjoy, make all your froggies jump and dance, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you, everybody.